Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the MD Medic Podcast. Tonight, you're going to have my reaction, my breakdown, step-by-step of the fiasco at the BET Awards, where Lil Uzi Vert was disrespected by his girlfriend, JT. Let's go. Alright guys, welcome back to the MD Medic Podcast. As always, let's go ahead and give us a like and a subscribe to boost us up in the algorithm. Also, give us a follow on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok. And you can also listen to the audio-only version of this podcast on Spotify and on Google Podcasts. Guys, the red pill is a movement. I'm trying to get you guys better, faster, stronger, richer, sexier so you guys can get the life that you want. So guys, give us a follow. Give me a listen on any platform you want, but let's get the message out there. Now, let's get right into it. As many of you guys know, the BET Awards was the other night. And guys, as a disclaimer, I absolutely hate award shows, particularly those by BET. Yes, I get it. I am black, and it's the Black Entertainment Television or whatever it's called. But I'm not a fan of BET. It is pretty much an embodiment of all of the things that are wrong with the black culture, from the wokeness to the gangster hood nigga mentality that is being portrayed and that is being glorified. Can't stand BET. Not a big fan of pop culture in general, and I'm not a big fan of all of the TikTok and social media buzz that's going on surrounding the topic. But I think it is important to talk about what has happened here and give you guys a perspective of what's going on from the red pill lens, the red pill point of view of things, so you guys can really understand what's going on and you guys can see the world for what it really is and see what's going on in pop culture for what it really is. I think there's a lot of things you guys can learn and a lot of things we can break down and analyze from this incidence of blatant disrespect and simping between Uzi Vert and JT. All right, let's break this down. So essentially what happened, you had Lil Uzi Vert. He's an award-winning rapper. He's a popular hip-hop artist of today. He did a performance at the BET Awards. And during his performance, he did a shout out to some ratchet skank performer by the name of Ice Spice. So this Ice Spice is a female rapper who's popular nowadays. She raps about a bunch of ratchet hoe stuff, but you know, she's pretty popular and I guess she's the modern sex craze. Everyone is attracted to her, everyone fantasizes about her, whatever. So Lil Uzi Vert makes a mention of Ice Spice in his performance. And mind you, Lil Uzi Vert is in an on and off relationship with a female rapper from the group City Girls, and her name is JT. So during this performance, Lil Uzi Vert makes a mention, does a shout out to Ice Spice, and JT loses her cool about it. What makes it worse for JT is that Lil Uzi Vert posts a selfie on social media sitting beside Ice Spice in the crowd, and this just makes JT go wild. Guys, we've all seen how girls react when they are in their jealousy mode, especially girls that have never been conditioned to behave well. Check out that video on why women misbehave and how you can get them to act right. I kind of break down all the things that happen and why they happen when females act a fool and when females don't behave. But back to the point, we all have seen how women misbehave, how women get angry, how women act out emotionally when they get all in their feelings, particularly when they're feeling jealous. And this is what JT did when it comes to how she responded to Lil Uzi Vert. So After this performance and after she saw this selfie being posted, JT confronted Lil Uzi Vert and assaulted him violently. Called the man out of his name, threw things at him, punched him. I heard some people say from some sources that she kicked him, but she definitely cussed him out, called him things that no man should be called by his girl. And yeah, it became a whole viral moment. And I think the worst part about it was that Lil Uzi Vert simped so hard after this girl, even after she did all this. He essentially condoned and gave a positive reinforcement to her behavior. And we're going to break down the whole event and what it says about Uzi Vert, what it says about JT, and what it says about our culture in general. So I'm going to show you some actual video footage of what happened. So as I said, Lil Uzi Vert, mentioned Ice Spice in a song, and then he posted a picture with her. He posted a selfie on social media. JT flips out, and she assaults Uzi, and she throws things at him, and she cusses him out. You'll see it in this video here. Watch this. Alright, so you saw how this girl just acted a fool, was cussing this man out, disrespecting him, calling him out of his name, assaulting him. So what's craziest to me is after this, Uzi acts like a complete simp. He tolerates the disrespect, and he even argued with JT and begged for her to take him back, even to the point of getting on his knees, and groveling and pleading in front of her for her to take him back on his knees like a little pussy in front of his girl who can't even stand up to her. This is what you're going to see in this video.
Now JT got mad cause Uzi was talking to Ice Spice.
So guys, you see right here, Lil Uzi Vert is sitting beside his girlfriend, arguing with her, pleading with her, begging her to take him back. Please take me back. Please take me back. I'm a weak little simp. I'm such a little pussy. You can walk all over me. You can make me your doormat. So here's the specific part when he's on his knees that I was talking about. Watch this. Guys, does that level of simping from this man not make you want to vomit? Does it not just send a retch through your soul? Yeah, this dude is tripping. This is simping to the max. Okay, so after this event was over, after all this happened, Lil Uzi Vert and JT were seen leaving the event as if nothing happened, with Uzi walking behind her in such a submissive manner, and he's carrying her stuff and just looking so downtrodden and so submissive. So, yes, a mass, I'll do whatever you say because you have a pussy. Yeah, such a simp. Watch this video. Come on now, L Uzi Vert.
You're a loser.
This comes to show that even the men at the very top of the social ladder need to be red-pilled. Because we even see right here an A-list celebrity, an actor, an award-winning musician acting like a simp. So let's talk about the things that we can learn from this incident. The first lesson to take out of this is this: a high-value man is not just defined by money, but also by his character and by his principle. We see that Uzi has the money. He's a rich, famous, popular rapper. He has the money and he has the status, but he's still acting like a pussy with no frame. And nobody respects this. Guys, and I dare say that rich simps are the worst kind of simps out there because they can enable and they can empower the most terrible behavior in women the most by buying them stuff, by treating them like queens, by spoiling them, all for their poor behavior. And what this is essentially doing, this is essentially telling these girls, hey, For acting like a complete and utter cunt, you will be rewarded by going on nice trips. You will be rewarded by getting nice things, because however you treat this man, because he's such a little simp, he's just going to give you whatever you want. Whenever you get angry, he's just going to buy you a new Gucci bag. Whenever you get angry, he's just going to get you a new car. He's going to take you on a new trip. He's going to get you this. He's going to get you that. He's going to buy a new pair of Jimmy Choo shoes. Like these rich simps, they're essentially telling women that all they have to do is act like they're upset or mispleased, and that is how they get what they want. That is how this man will come and try to buy them things and give them favors in order to get back into their good graces. Don't do that.
You're a loser.
You are a loser if you do that stuff. Rich simps are the worst, guys. And Uzi right here is a perfect example. I guarantee she's going to cuss this man out. She's going to call him all kinds of names. She's going to assault him for, him being a man and wanting to flirt with, explore his options in other women. And quite frankly, as a high value man, he's worked so hard to even be able to attract other women. So he technically should be able to explore those options, because a woman, her ability to attract the opposite sex is giving up birth. All she has to do is exist. But a man has to earn the ability to attract multiple women. And now that this guy has earned that, he should be able to express those options. But he can't even stand up to his girl, who gets angry at a man being a man. And in order to get back in her good graces, instead of him having frame and being like, hey, I'm that guy. You can either leave or you can be with me. But to be with a man of status like me, you have to understand that the kind of guy that I am is going to attract a bunch of women. And for every guy like me that there is, the guy who has achieved things, who's made a name for himself, who's gotten status, there's 40 girls like you who all want me. You need to understand that. But instead, I guarantee what little Uzi Vert's going to do is they're going to leave this little venue hall. And in order to get back in her good graces, he's going to go and buy her, some new bag, going to go take her on a new trip, get her a new car, get her some jewelry, whatever he can do. He's going to simp instead of having frame. And guys, here's what I always tell dudes, that if you are going to talk to a bunch of women and everything, be honest about it, because nobody likes a guy who is a liar. A guy who is a liar is a pussy. And it is cheating when you lie about it. When you make a girl think that you're going to be only with her, that you're only going to, be sexual with her, that you're only going to talk with her, and then you do otherwise, then A, you're so much of a pussy that you're afraid of what your girl thinks. You're literally afraid of what a person who is physically weaker than you, doesn't have hands, and can't physically hurt you. You're afraid of what they think, and so you lie because you're a pussy. And that's what makes girls react all bad. That's part of it. If you don't tell the truth up front, like, hey, I'm a G, and if you're going to be with me, understand that I'm going to take care of you, I'm going to love you, I'm going to have all of my feelings and my emotions devoted to you, but because I've worked my butt off for my entire life to even be able to attract other women, I am going to exercise those options. If you say that up front, they already know what's up, and they can't even act a fool when you do what you do, because it's already been established up front, and you're not a liar, you're a man of honor. But this dude is a simp, and instead of owning up to his actions, I guarantee he's just going to go and buy her something to try to make up for it, to try to get back in her good graces. This is horrible. And I really think that Lil Uzi Vert's actions really speak to the issue of fatherlessness in the black community, because you have this man acting very feminine, acting very much in his emotions. You can tell he didn't have a dad growing up to say, bro, man up, stop being such a pussy. This is how you talk to girls. This is how you have and demand that girls respect you. This is how you interact with girls. This is how you be a gentleman, but also have the frame in a relationship. This is how you be a man. This is how you carry yourself with pride. This is how you carry yourself with your chest up. But if you look at Uzi Vert, he's feminine. He paints his fingernails. He's into some weird, satanic stuff. Sometimes I'm wondering if he's, and by how he acts, I'm starting to think maybe he is, and it could be part of the reason why he likes being treated like this. Maybe he puts up with this because he kind of has a thing of getting dominated by a girl. Who knows? But one thing I can say for sure is he did not have a dad, and this is one of the big problems of the black community. You have all these dudes acting so emotional out here, acting on their emotions, which is why you have such high crime rates in black neighborhoods and other things like that, is because you have all of these fatherless boys who don't know how to control their emotions, who don't know how to be a man, who don't know how to have frame when dealing with women and when dealing with other people. And I think another thing that we can learn from this whole situation is that even if you are a man with status, modern misguided women will even still test your frame. And you have to be on point in correcting this bad behavior from women in relationships. And I mentioned the status because this is important. Like, it's one thing for a girl to disrespect you because you're a bum. It's one thing for a girl to disrespect you because you're a loser, because you actually haven't achieved anything in life and she actually has a good reason to think that she's better than you. But you look at a guy like Uzi Vert, like he is world famous. Everybody knows his name. There's tons and tons of women that want him. Like, he walks into a room and everyone recognizes him and has a level of respect for him. But yet, even still, this woman is treating him like dog crap. She treats him still like she is better than him. And let's be honest. Yes, JT's a rapper too, but Uzi Vert is miles above her when it comes to fame, when it comes to notoriety, when it comes to popularity. They're not even in the same weight class. But yet, she still treats this guy like he's crap. And this is actually really surprising. Because when you look at studies, even the most educated, the most wealthy, the most high-earning women, they still prefer a guy who makes more money than them, that has a higher status than them, that has a greater amount of social proof than they do. They still don't want a guy that makes less than them. Even the most highest-earning, highest-achieving women don't want a regular guy. They want a guy that earns at least as much as them, preferably more. I'm pulling up the study on the screen to show you that right now. So you would think that for a woman who has achieved a bunch and put herself in a high position where, there's not many people that compare with her, if she finds a guy that compares with her, if she finds a guy that is at the level that she requires to be happy with him, because there's so few of those guys, you would think that she would honor and respect this guy more. But no. Women are so misguided in this modern era that they will even still test the frame of high status guys and try to degrade them. I honestly think it's even worse when a girl has high status, because she not only has the ingrained, indoctrinated modern woman arrogance and hubris and delusion that most women have, but now she has a super high ego, even more to the nth degree, because she has a high socioeconomic status. And in the case of JT here, you can tell that she acts like this because this behavior has been repetitive and it has never, ever been curbed. Guys, whenever you see a woman blatantly disrespect her man in public, I guarantee that was not a one-off occurrence. I guarantee that wasn't the first time. There's been many, many things that led up to this. And it could have just started as, her talking back to her man or her verbally insulting him behind closed doors. And then she starts pushing him behind closed doors. And then she starts hitting him behind closed doors. And then she feels okay with calling him out of his name and insulting him and degrading him in front of other people. And that's allowed to slide. None of these actions are ever corrected. So she feels totally safe in doing these things. And, after all this happens, the man tries to come back and make up for it and give her gifts and say, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, like a little simp. And so she continues doing it and escalates to the point where she's physically assaulting this guy and insulting her man in public. Her actions are the result of a repeated pattern of uncurbed, unchecked, poor behavior. Women only act like this if they are not conditioned out of it. Women only act like this if they don't actually respect you and you have not made them respect you. Look, JT calls this man a bitch. To me, calling a man a bitch is one of the worst things you can do to a man. Now, granted, I don't tolerate any level of disrespect from my women, but to me, this is one of the worst things ever. And what this really shows us is that modern women in today's era, if you don't check their poor behavior, they can and will say things to you as a man that if another man said to you, he would die for it. But if you're too much of a simp and you just let it happen, they will have no problem disrespecting you like that. Like for me, if a dude calls me a bitch, what I say is this to another man: if he calls me a bitch, if you're going to call me a bitch, you best be prepared to make me look like one. Because if you're going to call me one, I'm going to need you to prove that I'm one. And I guarantee you cannot. I'm a very dangerous man. But women will have no problem calling you something that is that severe, that I'm willing to go through that level of extremes to defend my honor for it. Women will have no problem doing that, but they will only do that if you have not curbed their bad behavior in the smaller things before you get to that level of disrespect and escalation. And I think you do this best by applying consequences to your girl when she steps out of line, even in the small things. And by consequences, I want you to understand, I don't mean hitting a woman. You can't do that. Let me repeat that again. As much as people want to call me a misogynist, I want you guys to know I am not for hitting women. I am a very respectful man. And all the women that I've dealt with, all the women that are in my closest circle of intimacy that I'm really close with, all of them will tell you that I am a perfect gentleman, that I treat them better than any other man has, and that if they want or need anything, it is done for them. Done. Like, I've bought cars, I've bought jewelry, I've taken girls on trips, I've paid bills. I am an absolute gentleman, but I do require a level of respect. And I get that respect by letting them know that there are consequences. By being with me, you're taken care of. As a girl, if you're with me, I believe that it is my responsibility as a man to make sure that you're taken care of financially, emotionally, all these things, that you're secure. And so if I'm going to deal with the woman in a relational aspect, I believe that I also have a level of financial security. I believe that I also have a level of financial responsibility over her, and I take that responsibility. However, what I do require is her absolute respect and compliance. And if she steps out of that, she will have the consequence of no longer having the benefits of being with me. And if you do that, girls will understand real quick, I better stay in line. Or even more so, one thing that girls value almost more than anything else is attention. And if you take away attention as a response to their disrespect, as a response to their bad behavior, you will start to see results. Those bad behaviors that you don't like are actually going to start being conditioned out of them, because what they want more than anything else is attention. So if you say, hey, you know what? You are really disrespectful to me. You're not listening to me. You're making my life more stressful, and I really don't want to deal with all of your emotional baggage and all of your drama right now. So I'm going to just withdraw my presence. I'm not going to come and see you this week until you decide to get right, until you decide to get on my page. Guarantee their behavior, their bad behavior will be curved. And I dare say, this is going to make women insanely attracted to you, because the qualities of a man that they're actually hardwired to be attracted to are qualities that make the man a leader, are qualities that make this guy a dominant alpha male provider, protector. And what a girl wants to be is led. A girl wants to have a man that gives them a program and says, get on board. Because I'm sure you guys have all seen, girls will actually test you. Girls will actually on purpose get out of line just to see how much of a man you are, because they want to see will you correct them. They're very much attracted to you when you correct them, when you keep them in line, when you hold them to a certain amount of boundaries. And mind you, if you're a bum and asking for a girl to respect you and listen to you and be compliant with you, it may not be received very well. But if you're a big G, if you've worked hard and put in the work like I tell you to do on this channel, if you've listened, followed all of my advice from the previous videos, and you've become the strongest, the richest, the most ripped dude you can be, dude, girls will be insanely attracted to you, and they will love to listen to you. They will love the fact that you're such a leader, that you're such an alpha in their life. And at the beginning, as you're trying to like correct that bad behavior out of them, they might show, oh my gosh, I'm a little bit upset at this, or this is a different look, this bothers me, you're toxic, but ultimately they're gonna come back and they're gonna get 100 times wetter because you were deciding to stand up and be a big G. And listen, men, especially the men that are actually putting forth the work to become a high value man, you should not deal with masculine women or women that you have to handle. How many times do you hear women, especially black women, and I'm not hating on the black girls, but for some reason it seems to be a problem with a lot of masculinity in the black community in terms of the women, and a lot of femininity in terms of the men. And maybe that's the reason why I've never actually been in a relationship with a black girl before. Not that I wouldn't, but a lot of times the masculinity problems are there, where you have these boss girls that think that they're too good, too strong, too independent to listen to you. And they will say things like, you don't like black girls because you can't handle all this. You can't handle a girl that's an alpha. You can't handle a girl with all this attitude. You can't handle a girl that's this independent and has her own mind. Listen, by being me, by being the kind of guy that you're even attracted to, by being the kind of guy that is in shape, that has financial resources to take care of you, that makes your life easy, that gives you protection, that gives you provision, by being the kind of guy that you're even attracted to, I have to go out every single day and handle an immense amount of stress as it is already. I have to fight the world. I have to fight the business world. I have to make money move. I have to go and get in the gym and struggle against myself with my own willpower and push myself to new limits. I go and I train in the MMA gym to spar and to stay dangerous and to keep sharp on my physical combative skills so that I can protect you. I have to be hyper vigilant to protect you from all kinds of threats that are out in the world. I deal with enough stress already. I handle enough things in the world already. I go out and I slay dragons every single day. The last thing that I want to do after a whole day of handling the world is come home and handle you. So whenever a girl says to you, you just don't like me because you can't handle all this, you should know in your mind, it's not that you can't handle, it's that you should not have to, because you handle enough in the world. And why deal with all of this mess from a, angry, rude, unappreciative, combative, masculine woman who doesn't want to get on your program, who always wants to be obstinate, who you always have to be like super masculine, almost to the point of having to hit her to get her to respect you and get her to submit to you. Like that level of masculine. Why do all of that when you could just get a girl who comes to the table feminine, nice, compliant, and teachable and submissive up front? That's the kind of girl that I think you guys should go for. Now, another thing that we can take away from this incident between JT and Uzi, and sorry for my prior tangent, I'm just free running here. Like most of the times I have this huge list of notes that I go off of for the shows, but I'm just hitting it. I got little short memos of the things I want to talk about, and I'm just free flowing with it. So guys, please tolerate my rambles. I know a lot of you guys actually like these, so it's good content. But let's go and continue talking about some things that we can see from this JT Lil Uzi Vert incident. Another thing that we can see from this incident is how the cultural influences of today's young people are so toxic. And you guys know, I really think that the word toxic is overused, but in this case, it actually applies. The word toxic means poisonous, harmful, insidious. And the cultural influences of today are all of those things. If you look at JT and Lil Uzi Vert, these guys are like major influences. These guys are cultural icons, are cultural idols for tons of young kids in the West watching, and they want to like model their lives and their aspirations off of these people. And this is like really terrifying, actually. And if you really look at the people who this generation models themselves after, you can really start to understand all of the reasons this generation has the problems that it does. For example, we look at Lil Uzi Vert, who is, quite frankly, a role model, a icon for young black boys in the black community. And unfortunately, as I said before, because of this pandemic of fatherlessness that's in the black community, you have a lot of these kids who never had a role model, and so they're very impressionable. And they gravitate towards the first, most prominent male figure in their life that they see, and it happens to often be cultural icons like rappers. And so you see a lot of these black kids, man, and I hate it. I hate it for these young black boys, but they will model themselves after a lot of these rappers. They'll try to, talk and dress and move like these rappers and carry this persona that the rappers are glorifying, the persona of a scammer, or of a thug, or of a drug dealer. And it is really destroying our culture. And if you look at Uzi, for example, and the role model that he's actually putting up, it's not a great one. Look at Uzi. He's simpy. He's physically weak. Like, he's skinny. He doesn't go to the gym or anything. He's like a punk. He's a drug user. I mean, he raps about taking Xanaxes and perks and getting high all the time. He is like super submissive, as you guys can see. He does a lot of like really satanic, demonic kind of stuff. And these are the kind of dudes that these young kids are looking up to, not just in the black community, but now just across the entire like spectrum of young kids in America and in the West. I mean, it's really sad. This generation has some really terrible role models to look up to, and that you can see this being reflected into the entire generation that doesn't even know what gender they are, that is so soft, that is so easily offended, because look at their role models. They're punks too. And then look at JT. Like, she's part of this group called the City Girls. And the City Girls are just literally a group of female rappers who just glorify and rap about being loud, obnoxious, whorish, masculine, having no respect for men, and just not even respecting a male's authority, and that a male's only value is in how a woman can extort him for money and gifts. Like, these are the things that the City Girls and JT stand for. This is the message that they promote. It's some really toxic stuff. And I'm going to give you an example of the kind of stuff that they rap about. And as you guys know, I really try not to use a whole lot of profanity on this channel. Like, I try to be a man of principle, a man of moral, a man of faith. And I personally think that using a lot of profanity, I mean like an F-bomb and every other word, makes you sound very unintelligent. When there are more sophisticated, more compendious, more concise words that you can use that quite frankly illustrate your point in a far superior way. However, I am going to read some of the lyrics of some of the City Girls songs word for word, including the profanity, so that you guys can really like get a first-hand view of the kind of things that they talk about. So one of their popular songs, I'm going to read some of the verses from it. It's called Rap Shit. And I'm going to go ahead and read the song word for word, the exact message that JT and her friends, the City Girls, are putting forth to the young people. That broke-ass nigga got you stuck in a cage. Never got shit to do, but always something to say. Dead ass, looking bitch. Nobody's hunting you, baby. I ain't fuck your baby daddy. I was fucking his face. You was fucking his friend, old slutty little thing. Before I climbed in the Rover, girl, the truck was a Benz. First bitch from Opalaka with a couple of M's. So, like, you see this absolute degeneracy put forth in this song, Rap Shit. And you see, like, the City Girls, JT, insult girls who actually abide by the boundaries of their man, saying that, oh, this man is keeping you in a cage, you've got nothing to do. So in other words, they're saying that a guy who like kind of says, hey, I don't want you out here in the streets, I don't want you being a hoe, I don't want you going out to the club with your hoe friends all the time, that's sitting in a cage, that's being boring. And that's telling these young girls of today to act like this, to think like this. This is why it is so hard to find a girl in this generation who is worth taking seriously. It's a bunch of chicks out here who are rude, disrespectful, recreational use only, who don't want to listen to a man. And part of this is why, right here, because they are programmed to think that listening to a man, that respecting a man is being kept in a cage. And then you see all of this stuff about promiscuity, how she's fucking a dude's face and she's screwing this guy's friend. It's just a mess. It's a bunch of degeneracy. I'll keep reading some lyrics from the same song. Let me show y'all hoes how it's done, just to set the record straight, and let you bitches know I ain't the one. I watched mama trick niggas to keep the lights on. By 16, I had a talk game and 2 phones. I caught a case these bitches thought I was gone. Since a little bitch, I've been better at proving them wrong. Fuck the feds and the law, they can't stop me. I'm still making bloody moves, I feel like Cardi B. A slick mouth bitch with an attitude, real rude. And I've been gang running shit since middle school. My own daddy said I wouldn't be shit. I looked at him like, we gon' see, bitch. I'm up now. I don't give a fuck about my past, bitch. You guys hear how this sounds? This is absolute garbage. This is the message that JT and the City Girls are putting forth to the young generation nowadays. They're glorifying the hood single mama lifestyle that she grew up in. That her mom was single mama and didn't have the dad around, and the dad, you know, was negative character as she portrays him as, and making girls nowadays think that dads and male authority is terrible and that you shouldn't listen to, that they don't know what they're talking about. She's glorifying how her mom would literally extort men for money and, you know, use men to get money to keep the lights on. She's glorifying crime in defiance of the law, saying F the police, F the law, F authority. She's glorifying being rude and having a bad attitude. I mean, she even said it herself, she's a slick mouth bitch with the attitude and real rude. Like, she's, as I said, demonizing father figures and male authority. And even at the end, she says that she has no shame in past wrong. Like, making girls have no shame for how they live their life. Making girls feel like they don't need to have any kind of accountability for the things that they decide to do. No personal responsibility, nothing at all. No accountability. This is literally the cultural influence that we have teaching girls of today how they're supposed to act. And we'll keep going. Here's another one of the popular songs by the City Girls. This song is called Act Up, and I will read some of the lyrics to you again. JT on the track, and you know I'm about my paper. Pussy sweet, pussy tight, so he called it a lifesaver. If your ass is a broke nigga, hell no, I can't meet ya. If your ass is a rich nigga, I'ma fuck ya till you ain't one. If that nigga a scammer, I'm turning into a dancer. I make it clap like he got the right answer. Sit on it with manners, get it harder than a hammer. He want a freak, pussy pink, breast cancer. Oh, you like big butts? Well, I like big bucks. I don't care about your chain, nigga, or your big truck. Yeah, I know you getting it, but is you spending it? Give a fuck what a nigga got if he ain't giving it. Nope. Badass bitch, bad attitude, yeah. Nails done, hair's done, ass too. Your baby daddy fucking me and sucking me. He don't answer you, bitch. That's because of me. Guys, is that not absolutely disgusting?
She belongs to the streets.
That is literally the most skanky, most whorish rap lines that I've ever read out and actually looked into. You know, you hear hip hop music all day, every day. In passing, you hear cars driving by, you might hear it in the store, you might hear it at the gas station. You don't really think anything of it. You might even nod your head because it's a nice beat and everything, but when you really look at what a lot of these songs are saying, the most popular genre in the West, the most popular genre for young kids, and the same people who are often role models and idols and icons for these young kids, particularly girls when it comes to the City Girls, they're literally just feeding degeneracy to this generation. I mean, this song, you read the lyrics, is nothing but skanky hoe glorification. It's saying that men are only valuable based on what can be extorted out of them by women, and that as a man, you're not even exciting or worthwhile unless you're a criminal. She even said, if you're a scammer, then I want to screw you. And if you're not rich and a criminal like a scammer or a drug dealer, then I don't want anything to do with you. I won't talk to you. I don't see you. You see these lyrics encouraging superficiality in these women, saying that it's all about their nails, their hair, their bags, their fake butt. You see baby daddy, baby mama culture being promoted, talking about how she's screwing another girl's baby daddy. This is absolutely disgusting. And quite frankly, you can see right here exactly why this generation is so jacked up. It is because of the role models that they have, particularly in the black community. Rapper role models are destroying society. And not all rappers are bad, I'm going to say. There are rappers that legitimately just rap about working hard, grinding, getting money, balling out, flexing out. I use that kind of stuff as motivation for myself. But this kind of trashy hoe music, particularly when it comes to encouraging females to be like this, it is horrible. This is the reason why it's hard to find good women nowadays, because all of them listen to this kind of crap. You talk to a young girl, a girl that's under 30, under 25 nowadays, she's probably going to listen to this kind of stuff. She's probably going to model herself and her demeanor and her persona after this. Black, white, Latin, it doesn't matter. This kind of poison is just permeated throughout our culture nowadays, and this is such a huge problem. This is why we're facing all the crap we're facing, and quite frankly, this channel would not even be able to make it just 10 years ago, because the things that I'm saying, the things that I'm trying to get you guys to embrace, the mindset I'm trying to have you have in terms of how you demand relationship, respect, and how gender roles are important, all that kind of stuff, that was just common sense 10 years ago. But now, because of this absolute toxic poisoning in our culture, I even have a platform, because what I'm talking about sounds triggering, novel to some people. They've never heard somebody talk like this before. This is awful, and it's often because of the cultural programming from the role models. And even in the male perspective, the guys oftentimes in this culture, you see them act like this. You see them act like thugs and go off to be scammers and want to be drug dealers and stuff because of city girl music and what they're saying. Essentially, because all the girls are listening to this kind of music, these girls are programmed, I don't want a guy unless he's a scammer, unless he's a rapper, unless he's a thug. So these guys are you know what? I want girls to like me, so I guess I have to go become these things so that girls can like me. It is ruining our culture, and it's even worse when we have a society that's plagued by fatherlessness and plagued by people who are impressionable, just looking for a role model and are not told right and wrong. And guys, I know a lot of you guys are thinking, why are you making this video? You hate TikTok, you hate pop culture, you hate all this kind of stuff, and yes, it is true. I do hate TikTok. I hate pop culture. I hate BET. I don't really care what happens about Lil Uzi Vert or any of the other people in the rap celebrity culture. But here's why I'm doing this video. Unfortunately, all of the things that I described that I don't like, the BET, the pop culture, the TikTok, social media, all that stuff, unfortunately, I have to talk about it because it's not something that we can escape in this modern world. It's everywhere. And everything that we encounter in this world, in the media, and pop culture is a form of indoctrination to make you weak and slave-minded. And I need you guys to be red-pilled. I need you guys to be able to see the poison of this culture and the effects on society for what they really are, so that you can be better, so that you can overcome it, and in the midst of it, still find a way to get rich, to get ripped, and to be a modern-day conqueror that is superior to your peers, so that you can have the life that you want, so that you can attract the women that you want, and so that you can get the respect that you want, because that's what we're about on the MD Medic podcast, and I would be doing you a disservice if I did not talk about the things that were relevant to today's society, because this is the society that you guys are living in, and this is the society in which I want you guys to go forth and conquer, because the world is yours. I hope you learned something. I hope you got a little bit more red-pilled. I hope you were able to apply this to your life. MD Medic, we out.